Calisthenics are a very simple yet effective method at gaining mass. Just like weight training for size, you want to follow bodybuilding principles. So I'm going to give you some tips to follow. Stay consistent with them and you will see the changes your body makes right in front of your eyes. Let's get into this. Tip 1 is choose variations that force you into the 5 to 30 rep range, which is the optimal rep range for muscle growth. Generally, I like to keep my pushing movements in the 10 to 15 rep range and my pulling movements in the 6 to 12 rep range. With the exception of inverted rows, I like to push the reps higher, so 15 to 20, sometimes even up to 30 to really get that pump in the upper back, really pump out a lot of reps. But stick with a rep range that you find most enjoyable and you can stay consistent with. And as long as you're in the 5 to 30 rep range and you're going either to failure or near failure, 0 to 5 reps shy of failure, you're good to go. The second tip would be to use basic variations and get very strong at them. So push-ups, dips, handstand push-ups, pull-ups, inverted rows, ring extensions and ring curls. Basically all you need. As long as you're in the horizontal plane and the vertical plane, get strong at the movements, you're good to go. I would advise making the exercises harder over time with slightly harder variations, like adding a deficit to your push-ups or your handstand push-ups, or even just using gymnastic rings. They make the exercises a lot harder to do. I would avoid all the flashy types of calisthenic exercises that you see on YouTube, like spinning round on the bar or balance training, one arm training, all that type of stuff. Reason being is those exercises, they require a lot of coordination, skill and balance. And if your primary goal is muscle hypertrophy, including those exercises, you're not going to get the results you want. So stick to the basic movements that you would see in military style calisthenics or even street workouts. The third tip would be to progressively overload your exercises with external weight. Sooner or later, you're going to become very strong and you're going to need to add weight to keep you in the optimal rep range for muscle hypertrophy. For example, if you can do 100 reps of a push-up in one set, to stimulate a growth response in your muscles, you're going to need to do hundreds, if not thousands, of push-ups throughout the week. Doing that is going to create an insane amount of fatigue in your body, and quite simply, it's just not practical to do on a long-term consistent basis. So, just like weight training, progressively add small increments of weight over time and increase your strength on those exercises. And the fourth tip is to eat in a calorie surplus. Just like weight training, if you want to grow, you need to eat. There's really no two ways around it. Now, nothing crazy like 1,000 calories over your maintenance, that's just overkill and you're going to gain a lot of fat doing that. A simple 200 to 500 calorie surplus over your maintenance is plenty to gain weight slowly over time. This also kind of ties into the progressive overload tip because for obvious reasons, the heavier you get, the harder it is to lift your weight. So over time, if you've gained 10 pounds and you increase your pull-ups by 10 reps, you can guarantee that you've built some solid muscle on your frame. And my final tip is to train with high frequency. So you want to hit your muscles anywhere between 2 to 4 times a week. I find for me, the sweet spot is 3 days per week. That allows me to fully recover in between each session and still train hard during my sessions. Now you'll find that some muscles, like the upper back for example, can be trained with high volume and high frequency and still recover optimally, compared to muscles like your chest that can't be trained as hard or as frequent. So you're going to need to play around with it for a few weeks and really find the sweet spot that allows you to train hard and recover optimally between your sessions. And that's all there is to it. Keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it, follow the exact same principles you would with weight training, train hard and stay consistent. And with all that being said, Try it out for yourself, see how you go from there. Till next time, peace.